Howdy y'all, my name's Kaitlyn, and today we're going to show y'all the latest news out of the Wild West. National beef shortage caused by both the ongoing pandemic and the introduction of the Travis Scott burger at McDonald's is affecting more than just the golden oranges. To combat this, Chris Kempczynski, CEO of McDonald's, has said that they will stop using just the good bits of the horse. The Travis Scott burger jumped in popularity thanks to one heck of a trend on social media app and Chinese spy network TikTok. The trend consists of driving up to McDonald's drive-thru window and making life just a smidgen harder for the minimum wage workers serving your every whim. Other brands such as Arby's and Taco Bell appear to be unaffected. Though, let's be honest with ourselves here, there's about as much real meat in an Arby's as there are non-alcoholics in a frat. Now, market analysts predict that McDonald's will reintroduce the Filet-O-Fish to regions severely affected by the shortage. This decision will be made to compensate for their lack of catering to Catholics and that one weird niece you have that doesn't shower. This shortage isn't just negative though, as multiple meat alternatives have popped up in place of beef. Options such as veggie burgers have been steadily rising in popularity thanks to the efforts by the malnourished, iron-deficient heathens that comprise PETA. Next Week Now has reached out to PETA President Ingrid Newkirk to comment on how the group has changed the social norms surrounding the consumption of meat. Newkirk simply replied, "I have a boyfriend." One thing that is not in short supply thanks to the pandemic is small children. The nation's top fertility experts predict a baby boom comparable to that occurring after World War II thanks to the lockdown and the general fear of just putting a rubber on that chubber. The sudden influx of 20-inch Winston Churchill impersonators could have drastic effects on the United States economy and social landscape. This is why we here at Next Week Now are proposing a solution to kill two birds with one stone. Simply take these babies and grind them up into Travis Scott burgers. This would allow McDonald's franchises to keep up with demand, further fuel American consumerism's never-ending hunger, and solve the American overpopulation problem. And if you're worried about those pesky pro-lifers, don't be, because they haven't cared about babies since they slid out their mom's womb. If they did, we wouldn't be seeing such a fight to expand Austin's foster care system. Now, you might be thinking, but if the foster care system is also a problem, why not just Julianne those pesky juveniles clogging it? Well, believe us, we'd like to. We just are the Koch brothers. Just close your eyes and as you can see it now, instead of saying, "You're so cute I could eat you up," you can actually do it. Now, moving on to more things that scare me. President Donald Trump responded with, "We'll have to see," when asked if he would transfer power peacefully if voted out of office in November. Since measuring who could talk more loudly over the other provided inconclusive results after the first debate, Don and Joe have agreed to a cage match in order to decide just who will sit in the Oval Office come Inauguration Day. Commentators Joe Rogan and Phil DeFranco were originally signed on for $2 million each, but DeFranco has backed out of his commentator spot to film a 20-minute video explaining how America got to this point. Infamous YouTuber Keemstar has stepped up to the challenge of commenting on two 7-year-olds attempting to kick ass before they kick the bucket. The candidates, if unwilling to champion their elderly bodies, will be able to promote another wrestler to fight on their behalf. John Cena volunteered as the first substitute, but quickly had to be replaced because Slow Joe wouldn't be able to see Cena, causing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to step in after recently endorsing Biden. This will be interesting as Trump's celebrity volunteer Willa Robertson of Duck Dynasty uses his arms to make duck calls, and The Rock's arms are bigger than a Texas king-size mattress. Now, speaking of arms, Donald Trump's favorite participant in the Bolshevik Revolution, Senator Bernie Sanders, has confirmed his attendance at the match as long as the two candidates both agree to a peaceful transition of power in the name of having, and I quote, "solidarity forever." Now, as the match starts, Hillary Clinton will come on screen as she agreed to do the honors of performing as ring girl, wearing an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny yellow polka dot bikini with her face bedazzled on it in order to promote her new podcast, You and Me Both. And speaking of you and I, neither of us will be able to watch the match, which will determine the course of our nation because its pay-per-view price will be so outrageously high. only the people so rich they have to buy a new boat when the other one gets wet will be paying to help decide the next leader of our country. So not much has changed the election process. As the candidates step into the ring, preparing to battle for a head of the democracy, President Trump will have appeared to spend his many weeks in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19, training hard for the match. While he denies rumors of a makeshift golf course being built in his presidential hospital wing, sport experts appear to believe his arms were strengthened through focusing solely on his drive. Former VP Joe Biden also appeared to be more buff, supposedly from practicing with a bright orange boxing dummy. CNN news anchor Anderson Cooper will be oddly over-sexualized, just like all the promotional ads of his show, and will take the title of referee. Now, after Hillary Clinton presented the first match and Cooper has sexually gone over the rules with each candidate, Trump will make the first swing at Biden's face, but will miss. Then will go straight for his heart, yelling once and again about Hunter Biden's past drug use. Biden, now angry and blissfully aware of Trump's damaged lungs from coronavirus, will then take a hit in his chest, only to realize that Trump's body is a robot and the real Donald controls it from the Oval Office. I mean, how else would a 70-year-old man have all that kind of energy? Cooper probably ruled this as an okay in an attempt to appease the Secret Servicemen threatening his life. Now, as the fight continues, eventually Joe Sweat trips the wires of Robot Don. From here, if Trump decides to make his way to the match in person and wins, Joe will return home to wherever he lives up north. However, if Joe rises victoriously, analysts will predict that Trump will agree to transition to power peacefully while slowly deploying his Robot Don army in an attempt to eventually take the power back. Either way this match turns out, the whole idea seems crooked as a bag of snakes. But thanks for tuning in on these predictions. Let's mosey on down and watch what happens when people get asked about the upcoming pumpkin spice season.